So this video is in continuation with video 1, 2, 3, and we are continuing with the target system settings, or we can say S4HANA Central Finance System settings, and we are doing the configuration discussion. So if you refer to previous videos, we have covered the topics related to setup system, which is, if you see 3 videos, all the nodes are covered. And now in this video we will be talking about settings for mapping. So we have divided again this video into few multiple small videos. So in this particular video we will be covering settings for mapping, technical settings for all involved systems, and define mapping actions. This is what we'll cover, and in next video you will find key mapping and value mapping. Settings for mappings. So mappings are very important for any central finance project. I do have another videos on mapping as well. If you want to get into detail about the understanding and topic of core concept of mapping, however, it is important to iterate that mappings are something a core, I would say a baseline or the foundation of this whole transformation, because central finance projects are based on all data, and data is residing in two systems, and there has to be a bridge between those two systems so that the data transformation can happen. So in video here we will mappings basically is you map all the objects in the source system to different objects in the target system. So it may be n is to 1, it may be 1 is to 1, it depends again on the design, and also it is managed per system. So for ERPA, for GL account 1 you can have different mapping, and for ERPB, for GL account you can have different mapping. And there are some mapping which are based at controlling area level, there are some mapping based at company code level, there are some mappings based at system level. So those discussion, so when you start working on those mappings, you will see all those classifications. However, there are at a high level there are three type of mapping exist: key mapping, value mapping, and then cost object mapping. And the last, I would say not the fourth one, but a part of cost object mapping is another, is a COPA mapping. So we will talk about all these and see the configuration. That's a concept. The first is define technical setting for all involved systems. So in this particular area, what we ensure is that the systems are mapped. So before you talk about the data objects mapping like GL account, vendor, customer, profit center, cost center, or anything, it is important that systems are mapped. Otherwise, what will happen is your core systems are not mapped, and you start mapping data objects. But where the data will go? So it is important that you use system mapping. So that's why it is the very first node of when you talk about the mapping concept, that define technical settings for all involved system. And here you ensure that all your systems, source and CFIN systems, are part of this table. Mapping use the term business system to identify the source system and the central finance system. So business system is the term which is being used. So whenever you do a mapping, it will always ask which is the source business system and which is the target business system. And before you start mapping your data, you must always have defined a business system for each logical system. So, and also it is important to understand that all your systems should be part of the system landscape directory. System landscape directory is something, a directory where all your systems are registered, because if your system is not registered, then you will not be able to put it in that list. So the relationship has to be maintained, and relationship is like, SLD is like a family. So SLD is one family. Under that there are people, and people have relationships. If there is no SLD, then you can't define the relationship between those systems. It's like, uh, company A and company B, those are two separate companies. If those ERPs are in SLD, so then of course you can operate those systems together, and you can combine those systems, you can run interfaces. So SLD is very important. So here we say business system, logical system, RFC destination, and this is what is defined here. In this table we defined all business systems, all logical systems, and whatever RFC connections we have built from source to target, target to source, including SLT, all those connections are defined here. Next is mapping action. This is very important area, and this is something which drives the whole transformation process. In this, what we do is mapping action for mapping entities. So for every object, you have to define a mapping action. And this mapping action is by system. For example, if you see on the screen, let's take an example of document type, yeah, BLART. So for BLART, if you have source systems, two different source system. So for one system, you can select one mapping action, and for another system, you can select another mapping action, or you can select same for both from both the systems. It again depends on design, but the concept what I'm trying to explain here is that this mapping action is per object per system. So that's a classification. So what we do is here, I'll explain you the logics of these four types. There are four options every time. So here example, you see we have taken company code at the bottom. So these on top mapping entities, all these are defined by standard SAP. You have to select each mapping entity, and then on the left hand side you say set mapping action, and you have to decide mapping action. And then the second screen come, for example, in our example, we have taken BUKRS, which is company code. And now I'm saying for business system A, I want to keep data. And for business system B, I want to map obligatory. I'll explain you what these four topics are, but that's how, these are the mapping, standard SAP mapping options. And then you just save it, and then it will react based on the mapping action. Now, what is the definition of these mapping actions? Mapping obligatory means that whenever the data is, let's take an example of company code. So mapping obligatory means in source you have company code 1000 and you have mapped it to company code ABCD. So and then you have given the term mapping obligatory, or a definition of mapping to the company code is mapping obligatory. So whenever there is a document posted on source system on company code 1000, it will always look for the mapping of the company code. Irrespective of the name, it will always look for the mapping. It will always look 1000 is mapped to ABCD, or if 1000 is mapped to something else. If it is mapped to ABCD, it will, since it reads okay, there is a mapping action, mapping obligatory, it found the mapping, it will process the document. If you say mapping keep data, now company code 1000 is in source system. In that case, if your company code 1000 also exists in your target system and you have not changed when running the central finance transformation, you have not changed the naming convention of the company code. So in that case, what you can say is keep data. So it will read 1000 on the source system, and when it will come to CFIN system, it will again read 1000. If a 1000 company code exists, it will post. If it doesn't exist, even for example, then it will fail. It will say company code 1000 missing. So mapping obligatory is very important when your object, it again change by object. In the case of company code, if you have changing the naming convention at the term of 4 characters of the company code are in source and target are different, then you use mapping obligatory. Map if possible is, it may not be applicable for company code, but for other objects like map if possible. If you find the object, map it. If not, try to read the keep data option. Clear data means anything coming from source system will be cleared, will not be giving the mapping option, and it will just process what it is, or it will just process and clear it out. For example, any payment term coming like net 30, and you say okay, I want to clear my payment term while the document is posted in the CFIN system, because in CFIN I am deriving payment term through different logic. So in that case, you can say okay, payment term clear data. So the moment payment term will come, system will clear that out the field, and it will posted with the blank payment term in CFIN. And of course, based on your CFIN logic, BARDI or anything, if you are rederiving it, it will rederive. So those are the four mapping actions. Again, the important point to understand is that you have to do it by every object and every app of every system. So system plus object is one combination, and then you can decide the mapping action. So these are the two areas which we discussed, technical settings for all involved system and mapping actions for mapping entities. In next video, we will talk about define key mapping and value mapping. I'll explain you what key is, what value is, and how to manage the mappings, including those mappings which are not part of standard SAP delivery. You won't have a custom object. So in that case, I'll explain how it works. And then further, again, another video, we'll talk about the cost object mapping and then COPA mappings and other areas. So this is what something is coming up next, which would be video number 5 for configuration. Stay tuned, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe the videos. We will be having 50 videos now on central finance topic on the channel. And if you have any feedback, any questions, or on any video you theme anything is missing, you want to add, from your side you want to look for a question, feel free to post it, and I will ensure I will add it in the next video. Thank you so much for today, and have a nice day.